I don't think it's who owns how much of the asset. Now, if that asset is being staked and it gives them control over transactions in the network, sure, I could agree with that. But XRP doesn't have native staking, and it doesn't allow people that are holding the token to have voting rights or the ability to manipulate transactions over the network. You actually need an 80% consensus across the validators in order to be able to enact a change on the network on the XRPL. Ripple only controls 3 of those validators. There are 34 or 35 validators that, hundreds of nodes vote. These are known people that advocate for changes on the network. And then the other people support them. Basically, they're their constituents, similar to like you elect a senator or, you're a congressman in your state. And then they sit there and advocate on your behalf. Basically, this is kind of how the validators work across all of the network of nodes for the XRPL. And they all vote on stuff. And if they don't like something or they don't think it should be implemented, they vote no. And again, Ripple only has, call it 8%, 7% of those votes. My definition is that no one party controls more than 15% of the network. And so they would actually meet my personal standard for decentralization. The reason that I came to 15% is when I worked with business owners to help them scale their business and optimize value for an exit, that was something we looked at. We would look at their vendors, we would look at their employees, we would look at their customers, and we would try to make it where no more than 15% of their business was made up by one counterparty. And that de-risks the business, because if somebody were to acquire it, if they lost one big customer that made up 60% of the business because the relationship that the founder had or the business owner before them had, that's a big hit to revenue. Same thing for a vendor, right? Like if 90% of your supply chain comes from one person, they can choke you out. They could choose a competitor over you. So you want to decentralize your reliance on those counterparties, and 15% was always the number that we used.